And there you see President Joe Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden have now deplaned from Air Force One. They've walked down the stairs there and are now talking with some different officials. You may have noticed the fist bump that Joe Biden gave to Governor Greg Abbott there, who was there to greet the first family and other elected leaders. I want to bring up this particular tweet to share who exactly is joining the president there on this visit. So Governor Greg Abbott, Senator John Cornyn, the Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo. There is Representative Sylvia Garcia from Houston greeting Joe Biden with the fist bump there too. The Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner and other representatives, Sheila Jackson Lee, Al Green, and Lizzie Fletcher. They are all there to greet the president and the First Lady arriving here in Houston. Again, what they'll be doing is receiving an update about the recovery efforts after the storm that hit last week that left millions of us without power and water for days. They're also going to go to a mass vaccination clinic at NRG Stadium. It was set up by FEMA, one of the 3 operations here in the state under that umbrella. They're going to tour that, and Joe Biden will be giving remarks at that time. There you see Governor Greg Abbott going by as Joe Biden talks to Representative Sylvia Garcia and Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo. Let's bring back up that live image, and we'll just listen in to what's happening out there at this airstrip in Houston. And there Joe Biden is getting into his motorcade to go now to the Harris County Emergency Operations Center. Just a second ago, as our photographer there who's providing this live shot changes his position, we might bring that up as soon as they get settled again. But First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is going in a different direction than President Biden today for at least a little while. She's going to be headed to the food bank there in Houston to get a tour and an update on its recovery efforts and support and relief provided to people affected by last week's storms. As I said a moment ago, President Biden is now headed to the Emergency Operations Center in Harris County to get his own update about the recovery efforts and storm response. A moment ago, you saw Chief Nim Kidd, from the Texas Division of Emergency Management giving a fist bump to President Biden, and I would imagine that he'll be providing some information to the president about what's happening here in the state after millions of people lost power and water last week following that storm. I don't believe we're going to be able to get that live image back up just yet. Again, that was provided by a pool camera, so it's just one camera providing an image to all the media outlets here in our area. And I'm hearing in my ear that it has now gone down. So we will come back with another stream here not too long from now showing both Dr. Jill Biden and President Biden's visits to their respective areas, the food bank and the Emergency Operations Center. So we'll bring that up as soon as we can here soon. So right now, though, I want to share with all of you, just to provide some context about what is happening. So again, they're going to be getting updates on the storm that happened last week. And we learned just before they arrived in Houston that at least 18 more Texas counties were added to the major disaster declaration by the Biden administration following last week's winter storm. The governor shared a press release announcing that, so there are more counties being added to that major disaster declaration. That will now allow individuals to get assistance from FEMA if they were affected by last week's storm. We also know that among the officials who will not be accompanying the Bidens during their visit today will be Senator Ted Cruz. He is speaking today at CPAC, the conservative think tank event there in Florida. On Air Force One, some of the representatives for the Biden administration were asked about Ted Cruz participating, and they said, quote, "There was neither an invitation or a request from Ted Cruz." However, we do know that Senator John Cornyn will be a part of some of the proceedings today, so we'll expect to see him maybe a little bit later. We thank you all for watching our stream as the Bidens arrive. The first family arrives in Houston. Coming up here in just a little while, we're going to launch another stream, so you can join us back here for the First Lady and the President's visits to their respective different operations. We'll have other updates throughout the evening. Again, at 5 o'clock this evening, President Biden will be delivering remarks at NRG Stadium, which has now been set up as one of FEMA's mass vaccination clinics. In Texas, there are 3 of them. The other 2 are in Arlington and in Dallas, but this is the focus today as they visit Houston. So we'll bring that to you live right here, so stay with us, and thank you for watching again. I'm Will Dupree here in the KXAN Live studio. Please, everybody, stay safe and healthy, and take care.